Hello again, everybody. GamecockCentral.com presents Gamecock Central Radio with Kip Bouknight. I'm your host, Emerson Phillips. We're coming to you from the Gamecock Central studios. You can download the Gamecock Central Radio app on the App Store and Google Play to subscribe to the podcast. Search for Gamecock Central Radio on iTunes, SoundCloud, or other popular services, or visit radio.GamecockCentral.com. Kip, the Gamecocks lost 2 out of 3 over the weekend to Kentucky, and I saw Baseball Gene, our friend Baseball Gene, hit you up on Twitter during Game 3 yesterday and said, why is Kentucky such a hard place historically for the Gamecocks to go win? Kentucky took 2 out of 3, and we knew it was going to be a tough series. And, you know, Kentucky's not been one of the top teams in the league this year, but they are always tough against South Carolina. Why?
You know, to be honest with you, I really don't know. They were even tough when we played them back when 98 to 2001 when I was in South Carolina. It's always been a very, very tough series. And, gosh, I think we've only won maybe 3 of the last 12 games against them. In Kentucky. So I really don't know. It's just one of those situations where it seems like a team has your number. And I can remember when I played at South Carolina, I don't think we lost to Vanderbilt the whole 4 years I was there. If we did, we may have lost one game in the SEC tournament. Other than that, I think we swept them all 12 games in my 4 years. Now, Vanderbilt was certainly not the powerhouse they are now. But to do that against any team, you know, it just seems like maybe we had their numbers. So, you know, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, we did the same thing with Auburn. We had Auburn's number at the time. So, you know, it's a disappointing weekend. But, you know, again, if you look back prior to the season, you look back at where they were last year, South Carolina's in a great position to make a stretch run. And it's all about who gets hot now. And plays their best baseball at the end of the season. That's what you want. You want to be playing your best baseball, you know, come tournament time here in, you know, the next 3, 4, 5 weeks.
Let's recap this Kentucky series. It didn't get off to a very good start for the Gamecocks on Friday in Game 1. Kentucky scored 3 runs in the bottom of the first inning to take a 3-0 lead. But then in the fourth, L.T. Tolbert hit a solo home run, and then Alex Destino hit the first pitch he saw over the center field fence for a 3-run shot. It was Destino's 6th home run of the year. Destino finished with 4 runs knocked in. L.T. Tolbert and Jonah Bride had 2 RBIs each. Freshman catcher Chris Cullen went 3 for 4, and Marcus Mooney was 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored. Gamecocks scored 4 more runs in the top of the 6th, and Clark Schmidt was the winning pitcher. He's now 9-1. 5 runs, 8 hits, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts, and 6 2/3 for Schmidt. South Carolina beat Kentucky 10-5. So, Kip, you know, the series was off and running, and the Gamecocks look like they're in position to win this series, but things changed dramatically with Saturday's game.
Yeah, you know, winning Friday night in the SEC is always a plus, and Clark Schmidt certainly did not have his normal dominating performance, but he did enough to keep this team in the game, and he logged 6 2/3 innings, and Josh Reagan did a good job of coming in behind him, and Reed Scott and then Josh Reagan. But you know, it was a good start to the weekend. You know, you win on the road on a Friday night. Doesn't matter if you win by 1 run or by 5 runs. It was a good victory for South Carolina, and they were in a good position, but you have to tip your cap on Saturday to Kentucky's starting pitcher. He threw a well of a game, and South Carolina just couldn't muster any offense.
Yeah, he did. Dustin Beggs is his name, senior right-hander, with a 3-hit shutout of the Gamecocks in Game 2 on Saturday. Kentucky scored 3 runs in the second, so they jumped out to a 3-0 lead for the second straight day. And Beggs took it from there. 3-hit shutout. He carried a no-hitter into the 6th inning, and at one point he set down 17 Gamecock batters in a row. Beggs now 8-1 on the year. Braden Webb took the loss, 7 innings of work, 5 runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, 10 Ks. Webb is now 9-3, and that set the stage for the rubber match yesterday, Sunday. Bizarre ball game, Kip, where the Gamecocks out-hit Kentucky 14-5, but the Gamecocks left 15 runners on base and got beat 5-4 in 12 innings.
Yeah, you know, you're in a good position. You have a chance to win the series on Sunday, and you know, anytime you can win a series on the road in the SEC is certainly a plus. And obviously, Kentucky's not, for some reason, not an easy place to play. I mean, you look at Florida; they went in there and lost 2 out of 3 at Kentucky as well. So, you know, you're in a great position. You just can't leave 15 runners on. You know, some people, you know, anybody that's criticizing Chad Holbrook or coaches, I mean, that's all on the players. I mean, you got the guys in position. Unfortunately, they just couldn't get the timely hit. They couldn't get the, you know, even just a ground ball to shortstop. or a sac fly to center field. We couldn't do any of that. I mean, I think there was, second and third no outs and bases loaded no outs. I mean, it was certainly an opportunity for South Carolina to definitely get a win on Sunday. But hey, again, they're in a great position, and that you want them to be the best here in the next 3, 4, 5 weeks of the season. Does that loss sting? Yes, it does. But hopefully they'll learn from that. There's a learning opportunity there, and get ready for this week. It's going to be a tough week with Texas A&M coming to town.
All right, Gene Cohn's school record 31-game hitting streak came to an end in Saturday's loss, but then Cohn came back with 2 hits in Sunday's game, a marathon, 4 hours and 5 minutes. Attendance for Game 3 at Kentucky, 2,028. And Kentucky reliever freshman Sean Gilly, 6 feet 10 inches tall, worked 4 scoreless innings of relief to earn the win. He's now 4-0 on the year, and Kentucky won it in the bottom of the 12th on a walk-off solo home run by Dorian Hairston. Tyler Johnson took the loss in relief, 1-2 his record now, 3 innings of relief, 1 run allowed, and 2 hits for Tyler Johnson. Madison Stokes had 3 hits. Dom Thompson-Williams had 3 hits for the Gamecocks. Jonah Bryant hit a big solo home run to tie the game at 3 in the 7th. Both teams added a run in the 8th. We ended up in extras, and then Hairston hit the home run in the 12th to win it and end this very long Sunday clash between the Wildcats and the Gamecocks. Kentucky 5-4 over South Carolina. Gamecock Central Radio with Kip Bouknight. I'm Emerson Phillips. Kip, we got 8 games left in the regular season now. The Gamecocks will host PC tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at Founders Park, and then that will set the stage for the big series coming up this weekend against Texas A&M. A&M ranked number 2 in the country in all the major polls, and they're coming off a series win over a very good Vanderbilt team, and A&M shut Vandy out to win 2 to 3 games this past weekend. In fact, they got a no-hitter in Game 3 on Saturday.
Yeah, A&M coming into town, obviously, South Carolina has the midweek game against Presbyterian, certainly can't look past them, but I'm looking forward at Texas A&M. I think 2 things come to mind for me for South Carolina and their baseball team right now. Is the one and most important thing for me is for them to truly solidify roles on the back end of that bullpen. I watched Josh Reagan come in on Friday night, and a guy that's got 11 saves. Whether or not he thinks he's still the closer or not, I don't know because I'm not Josh Reagan, but I think he just didn't look like to me he was mentally as confident and had that swagger that he normally has out on the mound. He is a calm guy, but he just didn't have that confidence look in his eyes, in my opinion. And, it's tough when you're used to being a closer and all of a sudden you're coming in and it's a 4-run game. And you're coming in the game on Friday night, the announcers are saying, hey, is he the closer? Is he not? We thought he was the closer. And then on Sunday, in a 1-run game in the 8th inning with, I think, 2 outs, Josh Reagan certainly deserves to be in that situation. But if you're Tyler Johnson, you have to be asking, well, there's 4 outs to go. I'd like to be in that game. Now, the lefty-lefty matchup, Josh Reagan gave up a solo homer, and it's part of the game. But I just really, really think they need to kind of solidify that and make sure when they go to the ballpark on Friday night, they know if it's a 2-run game, if it's a safe situation, whose ball it is. And I just think that's really, really important to make sure their mindset is right, their mental capacity is where it needs to be, because it just seems to me there's a little bit of, just indecisiveness there. And I hope that can work out to be a plus for South Carolina moving forward, as opposed to this past weekend didn't work out too well. But, South Carolina's in a great position. Hopefully the fans will come out this weekend and make a lot of noise and make it a really, really tough place for the Aggies to come in and play. It's the top 10 showdown, and we certainly came to life to get Gamecock fans did on Saturday against Florida. So hopefully we have a great environment, this weekend against Texas A&M.
The good news for the Gamecocks this weekend is that Florida dropped a game to Tennessee. The Gators did win the series, but they lost the middle game to the Volunteers. So South Carolina and Florida tied atop the SEC East standings at 16-7, and Texas A&M very good, leading the West at 16-8. So it's PC Tuesday night at 7 at home. then Texas A&M Friday at 7, Saturday at 7:30, and Sunday at 4. And the next week will be the last week of the regular season. Tuesday night home game against the Citadel at 7 o'clock, and then at Bama Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to wrap up the regular season. So first things first, Texas A&M coming in. This team's been ranked in the top 5 virtually all season long, and Kyle Simons, 8-1 on the year, no-hit Vandy in Game 3 of the series with the Commodores this past Saturday. That was in College Station. So we got a tremendous matchup this weekend in SEC play, and Kip and I will come back later in the week and give you a full preview of the Texas A&M series. Kip, bottom line, like you said, Gamecocks still in position. We got 2 weekends left in conference play, and the Gamecocks can still win the conference.
Yeah, they can. I mean, it's a lot of fans, I'm sure, are disappointed this weekend, and I mean, certainly Coach Holbrook is, and the players are. But guess what? It's behind you now. There's nothing you can do about it now but learn from some of the mistakes that were made and make yourself better. I mean, that's the key here is to, learn from those mistakes and move forward. And I certainly think the guys will do that. And, if you asked me before the season if South Carolina would be happy and Chad Holbrook would be happy about being in the position they're in with 6 games left in conference play and tied for first in the SEC, I think it's a no-brainer. Anybody would sign on the dotted line. Could it be better? Absolutely, yes. But you know what? There's it's a long season. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And I know one thing. There's a lot of Gamecock fans and faithful that are extremely happy with the way the season's going. It's a lot of season left, and hopefully South Carolina baseball will be hot at the right moment as they've done before, and be a lot of fun come postseason time.
Yeah, the Gamecocks in great shape heading into the last 2 weeks of the season, tied for first in the conference and a chance to win the regular season championship. Kip Bouknight, we appreciate your time today. Thank you, my man.
Thanks, Emerson.
All right, that's Kip Bouknight, Gamecock great. Won the Golden Spikes Award back in the 2000 season, and he joins us twice a week here on Gamecock Central Radio to talk Gamecock baseball. And we'll be back with you later in the week for a full preview of the South Carolina-Texas A&M series right here on Gamecock Central Radio. I'm Emerson Phillips. Thanks for joining us, and have a great week.